PlayStation 5 is outperforming the Series X in a certain area. Microsoft is, they've claimed that they are working on a solution for this. Now, let me just go into the details for this here because it's quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's outperforming in certain games studied by Digital Foundry. The games were Devil May Cry 5, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dirt 5, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The resolution seems to be better on the PlayStation 5, whereas everything else is running better on the Series X and Slim. But some developers claim that the reason for this is because Microsoft did not provide developer kits as early as PlayStation 5, so they had more time to work on their PlayStation 5 version.
Work out the kinks and everything else.
Right. And Microsoft is claiming that developers haven't even scratched the surface of the Series X power, obviously.
Of course.
Same with PlayStation 5. You don't see that. You don't see that until the end of a generation.
Yeah, we've seen this generation. We've only seen some of the best games come out in the last couple of years.
Right.
On this generation.
And so Microsoft is currently working with developers on rectifying this issue. The first thing I just want to say on this is, you know what? Can you really tell the resolution? If you they actually had to get like programs and stuff to like measure the resolution.
Yeah, right.
Stuff.
Can our eyeballs, our eyeballs? Well, I wear these big old honking glasses. My eyeballs wouldn't.
Well, right, and like the fact that they had to really suss this out to find out. I think they did say with Valhalla there was some screen tearing on the Series X, which obviously is an issue. I mean, sure, if you're one of those people that can, if you're a superhuman and you can really tell the difference. Honestly, if someone put the game up on a screen for me and they were and just playing, I wouldn't be able to tell you what console it was playing from.
Yeah,
I couldn't based on resolution. Like, it looks the same to me, but you can set them side by side and be like, it looks the same to me. I can't tell. I know people get all up in arms about the resolution and how the frames per second and blah blah blah. I'm just like, can you really tell the difference? I've never, and maybe my brain doesn't work that way. I don't know.
Now frames per second is a different thing. That is for sure a big deal.
Right.
Frames per second is definitely a big deal, especially in like hand-eye coordination game for Call of Duty, for example. If somebody's running at 120 frames per second and you're running at 60 frames per second, they're just gonna see everything faster.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, I got killed before I could even see that guy. What happened?
So, I mean,
So that's a big deal. The resolution, I mean, guys, we're going to 4K here. Like, I mean, is it that big of a deal?
Maybe that's the thing. I don't have a 4K television, so I can't really tell the difference.
Well, and that you also got to consider. I mean, we are right at the very beginning of this next generation. We're talking like games that were developed for this previous generation and this generation. Games that are developed for both generations are never as good. Let's just be real. They're just never as good as the games that come out later in the generation that have really utilized the power and the all of the things within the consoles to really develop an amazing game that optimizes what the console can do. Right now, I mean, you're gonna see hiccups and flukes all over the place.
So I'm just reading through this article again here. It does look like it is the frames per second that's working better on PlayStation 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this isn't a resolution issue.
Oh, well, if it's FPS, that is a big deal.
Yeah, it's looking like it's the FPS that's running better on PlayStation 5. So that's my mistake. I wrote that down wrong. So it's the frames per second that's making the difference in these
Okay, so
these
that
games.
and that, yes, that would make people go, "Hey, wait a minute. I paid this much for this console and These guys are still seeing me faster. That's not fair.
Well, especially if you're doing cross-platform play,
Right.
because a lot of these
Which
games, Call of Duty
we
Black
are
Ops
now.
Cold War, I'm pretty sure is cross-platform. So you could be playing against people on a PlayStation. So yeah, that would be an issue. But you know what? Just fix it, make it better. I'm not sure. Again, with frames per second, I'm not sure it would matter in as much in Devil May Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Dirt, but Call of Duty, the frames per second would make a difference. You're right.
I mean, so look, here you are at the beginning of a generation, and they're going to work out kinks. And if the developers didn't have as much time to work on it, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that they would have stuff that isn't quite up to snuff.
Right. Well, it kind of makes me wonder. I mean, is it really that? Is it really that they didn't have enough time? I mean, I guess I don't know much about game development, but
yeah,
and maybe if we had a Rico, if you're listening, you should join us on the podcast sometime because he might be able to answer this. He's gone to video game designing school, and
I know
he understands this stuff better. But here's the thing though: Microsoft comes out and they're boasting the best, most powerful console, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're
the hardware,
if this lesser console power wise is outperforming you in something that could make a difference in people's gameplay.
Right.
That's a problem.
Now, here's the thing, though. Did you get actual numbers? Like, did it say, okay, PS5 is getting 120 frames per second on Call of Duty, but Xbox is only getting 118? Okay, if we're talking about 10 frames, nobody is going to see that.
So it looks like with Devil May Cry 5, they have frame rate gaps between the two as more than 40 frames per second in some cases.
Okay, so that's Devil May Cry.
Those were dips. Those were dips on the Series X.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla was showing screen tearing and regular frame rate dips below 60 frames per second, which your Xbox One can handle that now.
Yeah.
So it's like what? PS5 performs better at 120, or excuse me, PS5 performs better at 120 frames per second in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Yeah, and it's they're saying here it's not necessarily a platform issue, but an issue with developers not having ample time to optimize their titles. So,
okay.
So it's looking like it might not be an issue with platform. This is
right. So it's probably
on the developer side.
So essentially what it is, it's an article to try and get everybody to go, oh my gosh.
Maybe I think the whole research into it was for that. I mean, which platform plays your games better? Those are
how about we do that? Okay, so there's going to be another Call of Duty next year. We all know it. So how about we do it when that Call of Duty comes out, and we'll see how they compare, because then we'll know that we'll know for sure that game is optimized for this next generation of Xbox.
Sure. And consoles. Being big Xbox fans, I will say, if you're going to boast that games play better on your platform, you need to make sure that they play better on your platform. It's inexcusable, if you ask me. So I mean, fix it. And Microsoft says they're working with the developers to fix it. So if they can fix it, fine, great, perfect. But if not, I don't think you have the right to say that games play better on your platform. Yeah. Plain and simple. And that's how it works. Coming from an Xbox fan. So just either back up your claims or don't make your claims at all.
Or don't make them.
Plain and simple, baby. So that's my mistake. I thought it was resolution. I went through and you know what? Zach brought up a good point when he was talking about the frame rate differences, and I was thinking, what? Maybe it is frame rate because
FPS is that's
resolution. I can't tell the difference. I can't.
Look, I mean, you're not going to tell the difference if it's 10 frames per second. I mean, nobody's going to be able to see that. Some people say they can see that. Some people are superhumans. They can see it. Sure. Yeah. Whatever. If you can see a difference between 120 frames and 110 frames, good for you. I don't know what to say. Nobody can see this. So